always a lot of buzz in the literature and it's all over the internet about prostate cancer screening and how you don't need to do it. I'm here to tell you, I know what the literature says, but I beg to differ 100%. And I'll tell you why. With prostate cancer screening, what I've seen, I've been in urology since 1990. Okay, so a long time, right? In 1990, everyone started talking about, oh, you don't need to screen, and there's you can do active surveillance and etc. You don't need to treat prostate cancer, it's slow growing. Let me tell you what happened. So basically, what happened is that sometimes that holds up. And I don't care what the literature says and what the percentages are. It's one thing I want to tell you there's lies, damn lies, and statistics, okay? You can make the statistics show a lot of different things. I can tell you in real life what I saw back since 1990. In 1990, we started doing a lot of active surveillance. Not a lot, but some. Okay, and the biggest thing I remember from that era was we took a lot of patients that were probably curable, waited for their PSA to start going up more and more. And then we'd do their surgery and the prostate cancer had spread and we'd have to do radiation afterwards. And they wind up getting the side effects of both treatments. And a lot of times they're still not cured. It kind of relaxed for a while and kind of went away till about 2015. Then we started again with this active surveillance and you don't need to get a PSA and on and on and on. What do we see? Same thing. I have a couple of patients that are on active surveillance and their PSA has not changed at all. And their prostate exam hasn't changed at all and they have no symptoms. And they're older, elderly, they're going to be fine. But that's a minority, a real small minority. Most of the time what we see is the prostate cancer progresses. And let me ask you a question. This is just a common sense question. If you have a little bit of cancer, do you think your cure rate is higher than if you waited a few years and there was more cancer there? It's better when there's less cancer there. It's a lot easier. The second thing none of those studies show you is the morbidity that goes along with it. Let me give you a prime example, and this is more of an extreme example, but this is kind of what you see. I had a patient that was probably curable when he came in. It was 5 years before. And his PSA kept going up and up and up. And then finally it got around 25. Now, usually when the PSA is more than 25 or more than 20, a lot of times it's almost all the time, not all the time, but almost all the time, it's outside of the prostate capsule when we do surgery. So anyways, it got to 25. Now he's uncomfortable, which I've been uncomfortable for 5 years with this already. He wouldn't let me touch him. What they don't tell you on top of the chance of it being less curable is the morbidity associated with it. So you have a patient that's most likely it's going to be outside of the capsule. Patients that are over 50 have pelvic malignancy and pelvic surgery, which is all with prostate cancer. What happens? Well, you have a really high incidence of deep venous thrombosis. So what happens? He has a surgery. It was one of the toughest surgeries I ever did because the cancer was all outside of the prostate. Got it out. At least microscopically, it was outside of the prostate. We got it out. Got him through the surgery. A few weeks later, he's walking around and throws an embolism and dies. So they don't tell you about the morbidity. They just tell you, well, you don't need surgery. Well, that still causes 40,000 deaths a year. Secondly, when you look at PSA, okay, is it 100% specific for prostate cancer? No. And that's part of the reason people kind of poo-poo it. However, PSA is very sensitive to prostate cancer, so most of the time your PSA is going to be high if you have prostate cancer. There are other things that can cause it, like BPH, chronic prostatitis. So do we do some biopsies that come out benign? Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Then you don't have cancer. What you do know are the ones that do have cancer, and that's what we're trying to find out. Okay, and multiple tests have come out, 4K, PSA free and total, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on, okay? And most of those tests, when you get them back, they don't really help out the cause. They muddy the water. And what I mean by muddy the water is, say you have a PSA that's high, say it's 6, and you get a free PSA and it's 15. Then you go, well, what does that mean? Well, you still have a 30% chance of having prostate cancer. So what did that do for you? Nothing. So the best indicator, in my opinion, of prostate cancer is an elevated PSA. Do I recommend screening? Absolutely. If you're 50 years old, once a year, PSA digital rectal exam. A lot of people aren't doing digital rectal exams. Do I find cancer just with the exam? Most of the time the PSA is high, but do I recommend screening? Yes. Do I find them with a normal PSA? All the time. More common with the PSA being high though. So yearly PSA digital rectal exam, you're age 50 and on. If you have a family history, first degree relative, father, brother, African American, then I recommend every year beginning age 40. I don't care what the studies really show. It's not just the data on paper. There's data that the studies don't show you, like morbidity, needing the need for adjuvant treatment, side effects of those treatments when the cancer is more advanced. In my opinion, prostate cancer screening, absolutely, I give it 2 thumbs up. A lot of people aren't going to agree with me. You know what? I don't care. Thank you.